I've started wearing pearls when I get ready because I'm just that extra. I haven't done a makeup video ever, and I figured being cliche was the only way to return to YouTube. I need to be here, but then that means I'm actually not in the mirror. Here I can see myself, here I cannot. Wonderful! This is off to such a good start. A friend and I were talking, we've been talking about this for quite some time. Hey, chicken? Those are snotty tissues, you cannot eat them!
Chicken! No! Chicken?
Yes, I call them Agua chicken. No, I have literally no idea where that came from. Anyway, a friend has been going through a breakup, and therefore we're talking a lot about, you know, why we decide to go after people who are abusive or manipulative, anything that fits into that category. And I said something the other day that was so profound, and I didn't even know that that's like what I thought. Also, this primer is fantastic. I can't even see it. It's Hourglass primer. This is a tester version. This has lasted me so long. Just buy the tester. I also don't put primer on every day. Like, I don't use it for everyday wear. Also, I'm not a makeup guru. Don't take any of this to heart. Going through a breakup, she dated someone who was just super mean to her, and we started talking about why we like to go for these types of men. And I told her that in my experience, it feels like a game. When someone is mean to you, we as girls have been fed that narrative of like, oh, he's so bad, but he actually really has a heart of gold. It's meant to teach us that everyone has redeemable qualities, but instead, the flip side is, when a guy is rude to you, it just means you haven't accessed that part of him. And when you do, because I do believe everyone has some form of humanity. I'm not doing my makeup, I'm literally just talking. When you do access that part of him, it feels like you've won. It's like, oh, I'm finally valid enough, I am good enough, I brought this out in him, like, yes, I am worthy. It's a feeling of worth, honestly. It doesn't become a question of, like, why does this person treat me horribly? It's, what am I not doing that this person still continues to treat me horribly? What am I doing wrong? And so therefore, you never blame the other person, you just blame yourself. And some men know about this, and so they manipulate you into feeling this way all the time. And it's how they maintain control. Also, I'm perfectly aware that this is not my shade right now. It was my summer foundation, and now it's not. And look, makeup is expensive, and we make it work. So we've been talking a lot about why we let these men treat us this way. And yes, there are probably a lot of varying psychological answers to that question. But ultimately, I think it's because we tend to focus on the moments where they don't act like incorrigible goose penises, and we make ourselves believe that, oh, that's who they really are. Like, that's who they are inside. They just don't feel okay showing it. No, that's not true. They feel perfectly fine showing it. They just don't want to show it to you because they don't think you're worth that. Or they have no sense of empathy and they're actually a psychopath and you need to run away. Ugh, I look so tan and not in a good way. It's so hard to break away from that because once you're attached, you'll keep making excuses for that behavior. Just get trapped in a cycle until eventually you realize for yourself that this isn't something you want to do anymore. I think that a lot of people don't understand that when people are in those kinds of relationships, they really need to let the person figure it out for themselves. The more you push them, the less receptive they're going to be to any advice you can offer them. They really need to come to you. Because you can't motivate someone to change unless they already want to do that for themselves. But eventually they will, because everyone ultimately does have some form of self-worth hiding inside of them. And you realize that you're worth so much more than being treated like a literal piece of garbage. Why is this not going on, like, at all? Is it just because there's more light on this side of my face? Okay, it might be. But even though no one wants to be in those situations, I do think you have to go through them in order to correctly understand how you should be treated. It's like you don't know what you want until you find out what you don't want. It's like a very aggressive form of trial and error that is emotionally scarring and sometimes physically scarring. I let that go on with a certain individual for, oh my god, for a year. That's gross. And then when I got into my current relationship, I'd just been stuck in this rut of like, oh, you know, affection is a game, and I actually freaked out at one point because I didn't understand why it was so easy. And then I just felt horrible for that because here's this person who's treating me like a decent human being and I'm like, something's wrong. I have very weird eyes. They're very round. to the point where cat eye eyeliner doesn't look super great on me unless it's really thick. This is horrible. Okay, I'm gonna knock over my succulents. I cannot talk while I do my eyeliner. Wow, sorry, pause. I watched a video Tessa Violet put up today, and she said, do your eyeliner as though you're a cartoon character. And that just made me feel so much better about my typical beauty routine. Basically, moral of the story, you will not know what you want until you understand what you don't want. This is not to be confused with something else we talked about, which is people loving you in different ways than you expect them to. I show my affection verbally. My boyfriend does not. He shows it to me through just what he does. Obviously, there's a very stark difference between someone being manipulative and abusive and flat out horrible and just showing you a different kind of affection. I feel like that is super necessary to discern. I will leave you with a thought that I have to burp, that Yasmin gave me. And it's proved to be so useful because it's so simple. If your current relationship is not your version of what relationship goals should be, get out of it. I didn't put blush on. I have really olivey skin, so when I put blush on top of this already not my shade foundation, it looks horrible. Alright, this was fun. Maybe I will keep vlogging. Maybe. I said that last time and 7 months passed.